Hey guys, so if you're watching this, you're probably wondering, how did Cody paint his Osgiliath terrain? And you're also thinking, what? This dude has Middle Earth. But we're going to get started. It's only about 7 paints: Mechanicus Standard Gray, Gray Seer, Agrax Earthshade, and Ironbreaker, Dryad Bark, Scrag Brown, and Fang Brown. Those are the 7 paints you're going to need for this. It's really quick and easy, which is great. You're gonna want to get 2 brushes. Then you're gonna want to get that oval mop, dip it in some Mechanicus Standard Gray, and then this is gonna be a dry brush. It's gonna be a bit of a heavier dry brush though, and then you're just gonna go all over the terrain with that Mechanicus Standard Gray. And now there's different ways you could prime it. I prefer just a normal prime black to help create shadows. And by the time I get to Gray Seer onto this, it kind of has like, well, it's under like really bright light right now, but whenever it's on the table being played, it looks like dust and it looks like it's freshly ruined. But if you do want to go for a newer look, an older destroyed look, you can always do a little bit of like Caliban green with some Warpstone glow and some Moot green to try and give it a little mossy effect in areas that you want. But, just heavy dry brush, Mechanicus Standard Gray, boom, 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 and then just get all across the terrain.
You guess this is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. When you press me to your heart, and in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday void seems to turn into love song. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be La Vie en Rose.
So here's the part that can make or break the terrain, and it's Gray Seer. Now this, you want to do, I guess, a light to a medium dry brush, but I did make a major mistake of doing the dry brush way too heavy on this side, so it made it a lot more Gray Seer on that side. But it's okay though, because it's painting, there's, like Bob Ross says, it's a happy little accident. And you can always go back, redo it, hit it with Mechanicus again to kind of just, darken it up or whatever. But this side that I'm doing right now with Gray Seer is what I ideally make my Osgiliath ruins look like. And with the Gray Seer, I prefer to do like a medium dry brush, keep it like a lot brighter on those kind of corners right there. Kind of like where the rubble is broken off to kind of draw just a tiny bit more attention to that. And then now these floors, you'll see I'm not fully dry brushing them. I'm just keeping it lighter towards the edge as I do them to try and just make a little difference, so it kind of just draws your eyes to it a little bit more. Now this part is the Dryad Bark, You can use any brush and you don't have to dry brush this part, but I prefer to use a dry brush just because I just do. So this next step, we're going to get more in Fang Brown, and then this is the part where we ever so slightly dry brush it, just to kind of make those wooden beams just pop a little bit more, you know? Like if you have a model and they're doing a fight on that second floor, you're going to want to see those wooden beams, because it just looks nice. Now, this last part with Scrag Brown, this one is going to be the very lightest dry brush ever. It may not look like it in the video because my hand is heavy, but that's what it is. Now, on the wood doors, I did try and stipple it just to try and make it look like a wood stain, but it didn't really turn out right. But, you know, Agrax will fix that very quickly. And then, you know, you just hit the corners of it, just bring ever so slightly more attention to those wooden panels. If you want, though, you could skip the Scrag Brown and just leave it with more Fang, so it doesn't pop out as much. This step right here, I would not recommend using a dry brush. I would use a smaller brush to be able to hit those, I don't know what it's called, but the metal parts of the door, because I was very careless with it, and then, you know, some of it got on the wood. But at the same time, I'm not too worried about the door. The models for Middle-earth are really tiny in my opinion, so it's gonna be a little bit hard to see all those little messed up spots in the door when you're playing the game. Now if you look up close, you'll see it. So I do recommend a smaller brush, but if you just have a bunch of terrain you want to get done like me, I would just dry brush it and then just do it very carefully. And for the last step, you're gonna get Agrax, and I did put a little bit too much on my brush. I didn't notice, but you are just gonna, well, I prefer to put it over the whole door, because as it dries, it does fix those metal spots that I just completely butchered. The inside door, don't really care too much about, but I am still just gonna do it, at least really quickly. And then once it dries, you'll have a beautiful Osgiliath building to fight over and hopefully win.